Hello, learners. Welcome to the lecture entitled Aims and Objectives of Environmental Education. The role of education in the environment is very important. As we enter a new millennium, environmental challenges grow in complexity. Education plays a pivotal role in understanding and solving environmental issues. Environmental education has emerged as a field of immense value following national and international conferences. We must grow children into responsible citizens who are conscious. We must grow our children into responsible citizens who are conscious of environmental problems at all levels of society. The goal is not just awareness, it is action, values, and lifelong commitment to the environment. We have a comparison of development of environmental education in developing countries versus developed countries. So, if we look at the development in developing countries, the situation of environmental education is worse than in developed countries. Colleges rarely offer special environmental education courses. Very few colleges and institutes incorporate environmental education in their curriculum. Improvements are observed in recent decades, but quality and quantity remain insufficient. However, in the developed countries, many colleges and universities offer courses and degrees in environmental education. More common environmental education experiences are infused within the curriculum at various levels of education. Universities in the USA offer programs leading to a graduate degree in environmental education. For example, Ohio State University, University of Michigan, etc. The Tbilisi Conference, which was scheduled between 14 to 26 October 1977, convened by UNESCO in cooperation with UNEP. It was the world's first intergovernmental conference on environmental education, and the conference established universally acceptable aims and objectives for environmental education. These aims are recognized and adopted by all countries across the world. The objectives defined at Tbilisi remain the foundational framework for environmental education globally. The UNESCO's aims and objectives of environmental education are: number one, to foster clear awareness of and concern about economic, social, political, and ecological interdependence in urban and rural areas. To provide every person with opportunities to acquire the knowledge, values, attitudes, commitment, and skills needed to protect and improve the environment. It aims to create new patterns of behavior of individuals, groups, and society as a whole towards the environment. The categories of environmental education objectives under the above aims are knowledge, understanding, attitudes, skills, and participation. So, the first aim, to foster awareness and concern. To foster clear awareness of and concern about economic, social, political, and ecological interdependence in urban and rural areas was the first and foremost objective of environmental education. This aim focuses on developing a clear and comprehensive awareness among individuals and communities. It recognizes that environmental issues are deeply connected to economic, social, and political systems. Both urban and rural populations are included as target group to achieve this objective. Aim number two, to provide opportunities to acquire skills. This aim is universal. It applies to every person, but not just students or educators. It encompasses 5 core dimensions: knowledge, values, attitudes, commitment, and skills. The goal is both protecting environment, and ameliorative, that is improving the environment. Number 3, to create new patterns of behavior. To create new patterns of behavior of individuals, groups, and society as a whole towards the environment was the third objective undertaken. This aim targets a fundamental change in behavior, a behavior apt to environment and adaptable behavior. It operates at 3 levels: individual, group, and society as a whole. New pattern of behavior implies a departure from environmentally harmful habits. Tbilisi objectives. These are another set of objectives defined by Tbilisi Conference, and altogether 5 universal aims of environmental education were defined. And these are in a sequence or in a hierarchy: awareness, knowledge, attitudes, skills, and participation. So they have focused on attitudes, skills, and participation more. So after developing awareness and imparting knowledge about environment and developing positive attitude towards environment, the aim comes to make the individuals and learners skilled in protecting the environment and to help them participate fully to the cause of environment. Awareness. Again, it is the same, that awareness is the first and foundational step in environmental education. Then knowledge. People should have a basic knowledge and in-depth knowledge about the variety of experiences, not merely from textbook, but by engaging themselves in the field, and a basic but broad understanding of the environment forms the cognitive foundation of environmental education. Attitudes refer to the development of values, feelings of concern, and motivation. Environmental education seeks to cultivate a sense of responsibility and ethical obligation towards the environment. There are various skills which we want to develop in our students. So, to help social groups and individuals acquire the skills for identifying and solving environmental problems, there should be a skill regarding problem identification. The individuals should be able to recognize and define environmental problems. Then they should be able to issue investigation. They should be able to gather, evaluate, and analyze information related to environmental concern. Then they should be able to decide about the evidences, and they should be able to consider trade-off and make responsible choices. So, later on, interdisciplinary thinking, action planning, and evaluation, that is assessment of the outcomes of environmental actions using both cognitive and affective measures, are the objectives related to skills. Participation is to provide social groups and individuals with an opportunity to be actively involved at all levels in working toward resolution of environmental problems. So, at local level, at national level, at global level, and at all age groups, there should be participation of children, youth, adults, and senior citizens alike. Achieving environmental education objectives across education levels. So, at primary level, it should be regarding nature awareness through storytelling and outdoor activities. Basic values of care for plants, animals, and the earth must be inculcated in children. At secondary level, we may develop the environmental concepts integrated across science and social science subjects. At higher education level, we may develop specialized courses, and we may develop higher learning outcomes among the scholars, among the graduates and postgraduate students. So, specialized environmental courses and degrees can be offered at the higher education level. Research, action planning, and policy engagement may also be taken at the higher education level. In teacher education programs, building of environmental education competencies in future educators is an important objective, and it should be developed both at pre-service and in-service training programs. The summary of environmental objectives according to Tbilisi framework is again awareness, knowledge, attitudes, skills, and participation. Redefining aims, addressing all domains of learning with the ever-changing global environment, the aims and objectives of environmental education must be continually redefined to meet emerging challenges. So, at three levels, as defined by Bloom's taxonomy, the cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain, environmental aims and objectives need to be redefined. At the cognitive domain, it should be based on building factual and conceptual knowledge about the environment. It should be regarding understanding ecological systems, issues, and interdependencies. It should be regarding developing critical thinking and analytical skills for environmental challenges. At the affective domain, it should be aiming at cultivating values, empathy, and concern for the environment. It should develop a sense of personal responsibility and ethical commitment. It should foster motivation to act in environmentally responsible ways. Under the psychomotor head, the aim should be to develop practical skills through field trips, projects, and hands-on activities. It should aim at practicing action-oriented approaches to environmental problem solving, and it should build capacity for community-level environmental actions. The ultimate goal of environmental education should be to promote environmental literacy. The ultimate goal of environmental education is to produce environmentally literate citizens who are willing and capable of taking positive environmental actions in their lives. So, environmental literacy means a contextual, detailed understanding of environmental issues. It means the ability to analyze complexities and synthesize ideas for problem solving. It means decision making at local level with community participation. Interpreting and acting for the environment becomes second nature. Knowledge, skills, and sensitivity to address environmental problem professionally is also one of the important aspect of environmental literacy. The progression from awareness to action under environmental objectives is a cumulative journey towards environmental citizenship. We move from awareness through knowledge, attitudes, and skills towards participation. So, awareness is about sensing the problem, knowledge is to become informed and to understand the cause. Attitudes is regarding developing concern. Skills is to learn how to solve these identified problems, and participation is to take action for the cause of environment. So, role of teachers in achieving these objectives is very, very important because teachers are the core of any education system. They hold the keys to achieving all 5 environmental objectives. They can enrich their own knowledge on emerging environmental issues to teach effectively. They can shift from mere teaching to training, providing first-hand environmental experiences to their students. They may use interdisciplinary approaches to infuse environmental education across all subject areas. They should be able to assign individual and group projects on environmental topics, and they can lead field trips, they can promote outdoor education, and they can be involved in action research activities along with their children. So, teachers should be a model of environmentally responsible behavior for their students. So far as curriculum and pedagogy is concerned, to achieve environmental objectives, we can compare what should be the curriculum design and what should be the pedagogy and methods depending upon those curriculum design. So far as curriculum design is concerned, it should be area specific, and regarding pedagogy and methods, we can take help of outdoor and experiential activities. Under curriculum design, we may have activity-based and flexible curriculum, and for that purpose, we can have case studies and simulation. Under field trips and action research as part of curriculum, we may have community resource utilization. And under multidisciplinary approach across subjects, we may have individual and group project work. Achieving environmental objectives across all educational levels is also very, very important. So, from primary level, by nurturing awareness through storytelling and outdoor activities, and generating basic values of care for plants, animals, and the earth in children, we can move to secondary level with the aim of developing environmental concepts integrated across science and social science studies, and we can focus on issues, investigation, and community projects at secondary level. At higher education level, we can have specialized environmental education courses and degree courses. We can incorporate the themes of environmental education, the appropriate themes, and the themes which are related to the vicinity and the community society. We can have researches, action planning, and policy engagement of our students. So teacher education program is also very, very important in building environmental education competencies in future educators, and it should be undertaken both in pre-service and in-service teachers training programs. The key takeaways of this lecture is that environmental education is not just about information, it is about values, attitudes, and action. The Tbilisi Conference, which was held in 1977, laid the global foundation for environmental education aims and objectives universally adopted by all nations. The 5 environmental objectives are awareness, knowledge, attitudes, skills, participation from a complete progressive framework. All 3 learning domains, the cognitive, the affective, and psychomotor domains, must be addressed for environmental education to be truly effective. And the ultimate goal is to produce environmentally literate citizens capable of responsible, positive, and good environmental action for the betterment of our environment and for making this earth, the mother nature, a better place to live. So teachers and educators are the most critical force, the role models in translating environmental objectives into real world impact. These are the references. So thank you very much for listening patiently to this lecture. I hope you will find it very, very fruitful. Thank you.